Hey everybody, Dave here. I hope you're having an awesome day. So, for Christmas, I wanted to make my sister something really special and custom, but I couldn't show it till after Christmas. But now Christmas is over, and here it is, a little custom Hello Kitty with a little diorama. So, come on, let's see how we made it. Okay, so my sister loves Hello Kitty, so I thought this will be an awesome Christmas gift. The one thing is Hello Kitty was kind of hard to find. I did finally find this at Barnes & Noble, so I think this is going to work pretty great. Now I got to get the head off, and with these vinyl toys, if you soak them in hot water for just a minute or two, it softens up the vinyl, and then these will just pop right off. So that came off pretty easy, and that head's going to work great. Now I got to get Barbie's head off, so I'm going to just do the same thing, just kind of soak that for a minute or two in the hot water, and then pop this off. Just pull that other piece off with a pair of pliers. Now this right here is actually a really nice friction fit. It's nice and tight, and that's going to be perfect, so I'm liking that. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to sand the entire body just so the paint will stick to it. I've painted it here with a couple coats of white and then a clear coat just to help hold that paint in, so that's looking good. And then I found some clothes at Walmart, some Barbie clothes, and I think this Roxy set is perfect. So we'll just get her dressed up really quick. And I really like these lighter pastel colors because this works pretty nice for Hello Kitty. And the cool thing is my sister had a little toy poodle that passed away, and her name was Roxy. And so I'm thinking this will be a nice little nod to her pet dog. And that looks pretty nice. I'm liking the look of that. And then we'll just put the head on here just to give it another kind of look and see how that's gonna come together. Yeah, this is looking great. Okay, so I had some Barbie shoes, but they were like way too clean, so I'm just taking some Nuln Oil, the Citadel wash, and I'm just adding a little touch to it. I think it makes them look a little bit more used. And then I'm mixing up some pink here, and I'm going to paint these little stripes on the shoes because I think it's just going to add just that extra little touch. Now, I got a little extra paint on the edge there. No big deal because I can just take my X-Acto knife and really carefully trim this out, and that cleans up really well, and I didn't have to be super careful when I was painting it. Alright, let's put the shoes on. Yeah, those look great. I like that. Alright, now for the belt, this is from a different set that I purchased, but I didn't like the plastic chain, so I bought this little cheapy necklace at Walmart. So I'm going to snip this off and try and attach that metal necklace. I think it's going to look a lot nicer. Before I do that, I'm going to paint just a little bit darker shade of silver just to give some accents on this belt as well. Now I was trying to drill this hole out to put the chain in. That didn't work, and then I thought, well, maybe if I cut it, that didn't work. Then I had this old soldering iron that I'm not using for soldering, so that actually worked out pretty great. I trimmed off the excess melt there, but that worked for me. Now I'm just taking this necklace and kind of just prepping it. I just peeled that off. I get a piece of just scrap wire, and I'm looping the two through, and I'm just going to wrap that around the tip of my needle nose pliers. And then once I got a nice little loop there, I'm going to take some little snips and just clip right in the middle, and it should cut off both of those end pieces and give me a nice little clasp that I can open and close. Now I'll just feed that through the hole, and I'm going to just kind of straighten this out with the needle nose pliers again, and cool, I got that one end on. That looks pretty great. So let's go ahead and move to the other side there, and we'll loop this over. So I got another little ring of wire, and I'm going to put the first one on. Here's the second one. Close that up, and yeah, that's going to work out pretty great. I like that. Yeah, there's the old one. That looks way better. So the more I thought about it, I was like, it would be fun to put my sister's dog in there, but I didn't want to sculpt a poodle from scratch, so I found this dog from Final Faction, and I thought, hey, if I just trim off some of these things, I'll mix up some milliput and use that as a base to sculpt a little poodle. Now, I think the scale might be a little too small, but maybe it's a puppy, right? They have the little poof ball on the top, and then I realized, oh, the ears are wrong. They're sticking up, so I trimmed those ears off. and I took a little additional Magic Sculpt and made a little teardrop, and that's a little too big, so let's trim that down, and we'll make another little teardrop here. And yeah, I think something like that's going to work pretty well. And I did this technique on my Christmas pickle, and really it's just doing little swirls with a pick, and it makes it look like fur. So I'm going to do this over the entire body, and there's kind of the end result. I think that turned out pretty cute, so let's get that painted up black. I did take a little additional Magic Sculpt, and I made a little collar, and I'm painting that pink just so I have something to attach like a dog leash to. And I guess while we're at it, we'll go ahead and make a little dog tag. And you could tell on the leash I painted some pink lightly just so it looks like fur's covering it. Now I'm trying to get a leash on, and I was using this string, but I couldn't get it through, so I thought, oh, I'll super glue another piece of string to it, and I can just feed that right through. And I thought I was a genius, but that didn't work at all. So then I thought, well, what if I just force the string through? Yeah, that's working better. So got that going, and then, oh, okay. So I went ahead and re-super glued that ring on a little bit better, let it dry, and then I made just another little wire clasp that I can put string through. And I ended up ditching the whole string idea because it looked kind of dorky, and went with a chain. All right, let's move on to the diorama. I got a little wood base here, nothing too fancy, and some Dollar Tree foam. Now this Dollar Tree foam, a lot of YouTubers use this, and this stuff peels right off for them. I always have a really hard time, so just being super careful, I got that off. And then I'm just taking my pencil and I'm scoring so I can make kind of like the curb. And then I did some additional lines for the sidewalk. And then I got some Mod Podge. I put some dirt from my front yard in it. I think I put a little too much dirt because once I started brushing it out, I had pretty large clumps, and I wanted it to be more like concrete versus like huge clumps. So I went ahead and brushed this all on and then scraped it down pretty good, and it did give me some texture. And then I used some stuff to weight it down. I glued this down to the board, let that dry, and then once it was dry, I got some gray acrylic paint and just started painting the sidewalk. This gray actually dried a little bit darker, so I might do some dry brush on it. But it's looking pretty good. And then I noticed curbs do not have giant gaps like that, so I need to fill that gap in. So I just got some this quick seal caulk, and I am just filling that crack in. I'm getting a good amount in there, and then I'll wet my finger and I'll just kind of wipe it down, and it filled in that crack. Pretty nice. The caulk is pretty cold because it was in my garage, and we're heading into a winter storm, so it was a little bit difficult to work with. I wanted to add a little strip of road, so I'm just using that 60 grit sandpaper. So it'd be like the sidewalk, a little bit of the gutter, and then maybe some of the street that would be just on the edge of the diorama. So I think that's going to be pretty nice. Here I am just doing a quick little dry brush because concrete is actually pretty light in color. So got some glue on that. I'm going to go ahead and glue that down. I did weight it down. I let it dry for a couple, an hour or so. Hit all the edges black. And then I was thinking I need to add some dirt into the gutter. And so I had this clever idea. I was like, oh, I got the asphalt here. I'll just break up some of this sandpaper, and I'll have all this really cool gritty texture to do. So I got that all done, and then I sprinkle it on here, and that's about it. So, okay, that's dumb. So I just went ahead and grabbed my dirt from the front yard again, and I just kind of sprinkled it on there. I let it go ahead and get on the road, and then I thought, this is actually looking pretty cool, just giving some of that just worn and earth texture. So I went ahead and brushed some on the sidewalk as well, and just let it be kind of dirty, and brush that all off, and that looks pretty cool. And then I thought, well, let's do a couple little cracks in the sidewalk. It's funny when you actually go out and observe what a sidewalk looks like. You're like, oh wow, okay. So I think the dirt, the cracks, I think I was like, oh, maybe a little bit of grass, the little weeds that come in. So got a little bit of this tacky glue, just put a couple little dabs on all the cracks, And in the end shot, you'll see the final results of this, but I think that turned out pretty cool. And then I took some of my little flocking and just dabbed that on there, and yeah. Alright, so here's the updated leash. That looks way better, but I do need to make a little handle, so I just took this piece of scrap leather, cut down a little strip, put a little glue on here. I got a little loop from the chain. I'm going to kind of just squeeze that on, and that'll allow me to attach the chain to this. So, wow, I think we're kind of in the home stretch, and this is looking pretty great. Don't worry, the dog is just sleeping on the sidewalk.
Okay, that was a super fun build, and it was pretty easy. Just a simple toy mashup with a little bit of painting. But I think the diorama actually really helped make this thing kind of over the top. So let's do some turnaround shots of this. Stay tuned to the very end, because I'm going to do a little bonus footage of her opening at Christmas time. So, hey, as always, it is a great day to be a toy nerd. Have a great one, and Happy New Year!
It's a little mini Roxy.
That's adorable. Okay, let's see. Did you turn the robot girl into this? Oh, it's a Barbie. It's a Hello Kitty Barbie. That's cool. Oh, yes, yes. This is so cool. Oh my goodness.
And then it's like a
she has her dog.
little hand sculpted Roxy.
Oh, it's hand sculpted. Oh, this is amazing. Yes. Oh, that is so cool. I love it.